Lost in the offering bowl. Sunyani Estate, a vibrant suburb of Sunyani in the Bono region of Ghana, is home to a close-knit community where faith plays a significant role in the daily lives of its inhabitants. At the heart of this community stands a church, a place of worship where people gather every Sunday to praise their Maker. Francis, a diligent and religious young man, was visiting his mother, Mad Charity, in Sunyani Estate. A student of economics in Kumasi, Francis had once lived in the community and had been a member of the local church. His visit to his mother rekindled old memories, and on this fateful Sunday, he decided to accompany her to church. That morning, after taking his bath, he ironed both his and his mother's clothes, dressed up neatly, and applied a touch of cologne, feeling refreshed and confident. As he prepared to leave, he instinctively reached for his wallet, only to realize it was empty. Panic set in momentarily as he wondered how he would manage the coming days. Then, a sudden thought struck him: he had left some money in his used trousers. Rushing to the laundry basket, he retrieved a 200 Ghana cedis note, albeit soiled with oil. Relieved, he quickly placed it in his left pocket, making sure to keep it safe. Remembering the offertory tradition at church, Francis approached his mother. "Mum, can I get some cash for offering?" he asked, fully aware of her financial struggles. Despite this, his mother, with a teasing smile, handed him a 20 Ghana cedis note. Francis accepted it gratefully and placed it in his right pocket, ensuring it did not mix with his more significant 200 Ghana cedis note. That money was his only lifeline for the coming week, and he couldn't afford to misplace it. Dressed in a long-sleeved African print shirt and black trousers, Francis walked to church with an air of confidence, his mother by his side. As they approached the church premises, he spotted a familiar face, Sandra, a childhood friend. She was radiant, her fair complexion glowing in the morning sun. "Sandra," he called out excitedly. "Francis, is that you?" she responded, her face lighting up with recognition. They embraced warmly, a long hug filled with nostalgia. Memories of their childhood flooded back as they exchanged pleasantries and laughter. With hearts full of joy, they entered the church together, their excitement momentarily overshadowing the purpose of their visit. Throughout the service, they giggled and whispered, reminiscing about old times. Then came the time for offertory. The ushers took their positions, directing the congregation toward the offering bowls placed strategically around the church. The choir raised a melodious song, and worshippers, moved by the music, danced forward with their offerings. Engulfed in the moment, Francis reached into his pocket as he approached the offering bowl. Without much thought, he pulled out a note and dropped it in. The service continued, followed by announcements, prayers, and eventually, the benediction. As the congregation dispersed, Francis bid farewell to Sandra. With his left hand in his pocket, he casually patted his belongings, and froze. His heart raced. His golden egg was missing. Frantically, he checked both pockets. The 20 Ghana cedis note was still in his right pocket, but the 200 Ghana cedis note was nowhere to be found. "Hey! I am dead," he blurted out, drawing the attention of those nearby. His distressed expression caught Sandra's concern, and she quickly returned to him. "Francis, what is it?" she asked. Initially hesitant, he finally confessed, "I think I dropped my 200 Ghana cedis note instead of the 20 Ghana cedis." Sandra sighed and, in a calm but firm tone, reminded him, "God loves a cheerful giver, Francis. If it wasn't intentional, perhaps it's best to let it go." But the thought of losing his only money for the week gnawed at him. "I need to check," he insisted. With Sandra's support, they approached the accounts room where the ushers were handling the offerings. Francis explained his predicament to the accounts officers. They identified the offering bowl he had used, which had not yet been emptied. "Can you describe the note?" an officer asked. "Yes, it was a 200 Ghana cedis note, but it had oil stains on it," Francis responded confidently. The officers poured out the contents of the bowl. They sifted through the money carefully, but to everyone's surprise, number 200 Ghana cedis note, soiled or otherwise, was found. The tension in the room thickened. The skeptical glances from those present made Francis uneasy. The thought that they might suspect him of attempting to deceive the church sent chills down his spine. Desperate, he suggested checking the other bowls, just in case. Again, the search yielded nothing. Just when hope seemed lost, Sandra made an unexpected request. "Can we check the usher's belongings?" she asked. The accounts officers hesitated. "That's unnecessary," one of them said, but Sandra insisted. The usher in question initially resisted, but, under mounting pressure, reluctantly handed over her bag. A thorough search revealed nothing in her purse or pockets. As Francis braced himself for complete humiliation, Sandra took one last look inside the usher's bag. Something caught her eye. Reaching into a hidden side compartment, she pulled out a folded 200 Ghana cedis note, soiled with oil. A wave of astonishment swept through the room. The usher immediately fell to her knees, hands clasped together, pleading, "I don't know what came over me. It was the devil." One of the accounts officers shook his head in disappointment. "This is shameful," he muttered. Relief washed over Francis. His money was recovered, and more importantly, his integrity remained intact. Sandra, triumphant yet composed, handed him the note. "I knew you weren't lying," she said with a proud smile. As they walked out of the office, Francis reflected on the day's events. He had nearly lost his hard-earned money, but in the end, the truth prevailed. One may steal from God's house and think they have succeeded, he thought, but when the cup is full, exposure comes in the most unexpected ways. Enough drama for one morning. And all for just 200 Ghana cedis.
Follow me all the days of my life, and I shall dwell in the house of the Lord